There's been quite a bit of drama in Lost Ark. We don't get much of that because we're so busy playing the game, doing raids in the game. And this is revolving around a tier list. So this tier list was released by Legalia a while ago. We're gonna kind of skim over his tier list. Then the Reddit post he made because of all the drama that came from the tier list. Then we're gonna go over a reaction or lack of from a well-known scouter player and their takes. And then we'll end with a clip taken from Legalia's stream about the whole tier list situation. In standard tier list flair, it's a tier list. So the way it already starts off, like, the language is like someone who is constantly losing a league rank game.
We out here making another tier list, man. And this time, it's gonna be for regular content.
So in the video, he says it's for regular content.
For a while, I don't want to try to encourage gatekeeping and shit like that.
The thing is, you can say that, but people are gonna do what people are gonna do when they see a tier list. They're going to gatekeep off it. When you're a content creator and you make content, you are ultimately an influencer because an audience is impressionable. So anything you say, like, you can have all the caveats in the world and people are still going to take it the wrong way.
Let me preface this by saying any rating in this is assuming, okay? The player is the best player in that region, okay? The best player, the skill ceiling of that class. We're not gonna assume some, guy playing Gunlancer on his controller, okay? That's not what we're looking at.
It sounds like a straight rip at my favorite Gunlancer streamer, dude. Which, by the way, that guy's hilarious. I love that guy's content, and it's fun. It's fun to watch. Here it is, right here.
Name I won't even dare to try and pronounce.
Dude, look how fun that looks. Dude, it's so good. Oh my god.
The man takes his Simon Says mechanic very seriously.
So this is the clown.
It's so good. I love this guy. Dude, it's so good. So he's also assuming perfect card set and best in slot synergy. So he goes on, he starts placing classes on the tier list. At first he played, Surge. There are some things that I agree because tier lists are, mostly opinionated, especially in a game where they try to hide the DPS meter, they discourage using a DPS meter. There are people out there that use it. There is some truth behind it, but a lot of times tier lists encourage behavior. Most of it negative. It's supposed to be taken as an entertainment piece. I'm gonna admit, I'm kind of a meta chaser myself. I push my Arcanist up because both Arcanist builds are amazing and I like the class. And I had some spare gold, so I pushed that character up and I want a taste of it, I want a taste of the OP-ness. It's well known that Arcanist has very, very high potential. And I came from a previous meme class, low spec robust, before it could actually do damage, and before Relic set even. I'm willing to take the risk, and I'm liking my Arcana so far. He's like, okay, this is for fun player, but these classes bring the synergy, so eventually you're gonna need to bring, because at the end of the day, at the beginning of
it's gonna be for regular content.
Regular content. So no, if you're wondering why people are mad, it's because, regular content. Which, at the end of the day, this tier list doesn't even matter because eye level in this game just beats everything. But people are gatekeeping and making opinions based off this tier list in regular content. I wonder why.
Alright.
So I fast forward to the end of the video to show the entire tier list, which you can also do on your side if you go to the video. I'll link it below, just to have an idea of what we're going to go into in the other topics. So then he posted this Reddit post to try to defend himself over the tier list. I made both a regular and a Helmo tier list on certain classes. Look, he made it for his viewers, and this is this one of your most popular videos? Can I even sort by this? Yeah, it became one of your most popular videos, and it is a very divisive video. And divisive opinions, they generate views. Some of my most popular videos have a lot of dislikes because controversy pushes things up in the YouTube algorithm. It is what it does. And negative content also I hate to say it, but as a human race as a whole, we're pretty negative. And negative content drives views, and people enjoy watching like the downfall of others or toxic content. People kind of enjoy that. So, you know, it is what it is. And the fact that his thumbnail is super fucking negative. Your class sucks, you know, like, whoa, my class. What does he have to say about my class? People click it. And he even highlights, why are you even playing this trash tier? He doesn't highlight like the S tiers. Like the point of the thumbnail is this push towards the negative, push towards the negativity. And you know, it paid off. Like I could do a whole entire segment on just analyzing this thumbnail alone, on why this thumbnail works the way it did. But here, like, it's just all negative. It's very, like, bad shit. Like, 1 out of 3. It pushes things. And this drives, you know, this drives views. But here he's telling people to take it with a grain of salt, you know. So far, sure, fine. Not busted in context. Literally, you can bring any class. Your class doesn't matter. What matters is you're able to actually do the mechanics and then you clear the raid. You have more than enough damage. There's no way anyone wipes the enrage timer if you just play your class decently well. Lost Ark is not a hard game. So a little backstory to the beginning of Lost Ark. When Lost Ark first came out, Zerkers were one of the most popular classes. And it was popular for a couple reasons. It did a lot of damage for almost no investment. Some popular streamers were playing it. And also the potion economy of a Zerker was insane. Back then, everyone was El Cheapo because we didn't have access to all these. We didn't have access to all these potion boxes and items that we have today. So a lot of people played Zerker because your green pot effectively heals your entire HP pool. It was insane. We all loved our Zerkers. Every one of us that made a Zerker, I think a majority of our player group loved our Zerker. And one of our highest DPS players was a Zerker. We miss you, buddy. He quit a little while ago, but we miss that guy. He's a great guy to be around. We didn't miss him because he did the most damage. We missed him because he was just a genuinely fun guy to be around. He rolled with the punches. I miss that guy, man. I haven't talked to him in a while. I think he plays Apex now. And I stop by and I say hi once in a while. Yeah, great guy. So not all Zerker players are bad. The whole entire era of gatekeeping Zerkers was because most of them really just ate mechanics, just died to a lot of random things. At the beginning of Lost Ark, the mechanics weren't as heavy as the mechanics you see now. At the beginning, the mechanic was damage. You just took a lot of damage. And Zerkers were able to eat a lot of damage. So naturally, Zerkers were just stronger, but it pushed people towards a playstyle where they just ignored everything. And as more and more content came out that you couldn't do that, like the Velgano's Pizza, in Valten, you had to do orbs, not getting grabbed, stuff like that. A lot of the one-shot mechanics became more apparent. We had a taste of that in Argos where everybody had to get to a certain zone. The Phase 3 wipe mechanics was like, you know, the first taste of, I guess, true Lost Ark endgame. Or Phase 2 mechanics when you have to call out the lasers for Argos. But yeah, that's a little bit about the original gatekeeping of Zerker, a little backstory about that. But, you know, tier list does. It contributes to gatekeeping. Not as much, but it does. It 100% does. I see it even within my friend group where sometimes we just take people because they're on the bottom of the tier list. We're like, oh man, this scouter, we'll just take this guy. If a scouter applies that's on eye level and a scrapper applies that's on eye level, we're probably going to take the scouter because we understand how the community feels towards some of these people. But that's that piece. In the end, I don't care if people agree with my take because it doesn't matter. Well, it seems like it does, and it seems you do care. So that's very ingenuous because you cared enough to make this entire post. But let's move on past that point. It's because instead of the usual tier list, I get you're trying to go for some humor, calling it trash tier instead of D tier. Like just keep it D tier. You're offending people for no reason other than for content or whatever. But people are gonna get offended. You can't be mad when you're offending people and people get offended by it. That's the reality of the situation. And this whole legacy scouter clear is, you know, it's creates some division. So when you make a take like that, people are going to naturally form opinions and either get defensive or become super opinionated about your opinion. If anything, this is this brings eyes all around. It gets eyes on your content, it gets eyes on content I'm making, Just the irony of the situation for you to call a class trash tier and then they become part of the world first clear. The content, hell mode, hardest content in the world, you're going to be playing it with 7 other people. If you're going to be with 7 people you absolutely despise, hate yourself, just because they play the good class or they're the best at that class, that's up to you. But clearly these people play with other people that know exactly what they're doing, and if they decide to bring a legacy scouter along for, that means they have damage in check, and that's fine. That's the first hell mode clear that they want to go with, a class they're comfortable with, because even though it's a class that let's point out all the weak points of a scouter, right? The utility that it brings, the weak synergy, the low damage. That doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, that individual was able to clear the content because he paid attention to mechs. He was able to have somewhat decent uptime, 16% damage, whatever the percent damage in a hell clear, it's fine. He brought enough damage to clear the raid. And there's a reason that this person brought an Evo, Evo Evolution and AT Scouter to the raid instead of any other class. I'm sure that Scouter player was able to play another class. What if he was making a point? What if he was just making a point that you can clear hell content with the Scouter? The fact that you said you don't really care, and then you're going through frame by frame calculation of his damage. I actually never sat through your stream of doing that. I don't know if you actually did frame by frame adding numbers. You can see why the community is making fun of you for the napkin math or whatever, like saying you're in shambles because of all this. Because you want to defend your point. You want to, you put them at the bottom. That's what you believe. I feel like a lot of content creators would have just left it at that. But it's your content. You can do whatever you want. Just like how I make my content, and some people like my content, some people don't. And that's fair. For some people attacking the top part here, saying like, if you don't care about your tier list, why are you going through all this? I think this is like, he did the calculation unrelated to the normal tier list. And again, his opinion for his normal tier list, you should not apply his opinions on a normal tier list to his hell clear, because that's their. But even in hell content, he's saying Scouter is bottom tier. It doesn't matter if you're complimenting him, you're saying, oh, this is the best Scouter I've ever seen, quote unquote, with insane uptime, head attack R's whopping 75.39% transformation uptime, quote unquote, and now you're friends with the guy. You're still calling his class trash, and that's the takeaway that your audience and people on Reddit are gonna take away. So this is the part I wanted to emphasize here. Had my Korean friend translate comments, most of them saying that they already knew Legacy was weak in hell mode. So they're translating this in post here, and that they hope to see buffs soon, especially with 1700 spec capped, 3 skill transform requirement, and jealous of the third-party tools. I'm actually not too familiar with it, other than the DPS meter that we're not supposed to, not allowed to have, quote unquote. If they're talking about the tool being Legalia writing on a napkin, then yeah, sure. So the reason I think the context, like the content, the context, all of it rubs people in the wrong way. So he summarizes up 4 points. Great. Scouter player is not shit. Scouter player is good, but at the end of the day, he chose to bring the Scouter and his friends accepted it. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say up here is you will not be gatekept by your friends. So if you find a good group to play with, you can bring whatever class you like. And the gatekeeping only exists in a pug landscape. Unless your friends are gatekeeping you, then that's up to you, and you pick your friends. You can just stop playing with them. But their friends let him bring his Legacy Scouter, and he brought it, and they cleared it. So at the end of the day, are they gonna be like, oh, if only you brought your third gunslinger, or only if you brought that ESO S tier build, we could have cleared this a little faster. No, his friend probably wasn't comfortable playing it in that environment. There's a prog environment, and then there's a farm environment. Lost Ark, in general, is a very heavy farm environment game. You do a raid once, that's your prog. Now you're farming it 52 times 6 minus 1. for the rest of the year. Assuming full 6 gold earning on eye level roster at bare minimum. Okay, so let's get back to these 4 points here. Scouter player is not shit. That's like a crew fighter is insane. Emperor doing the lion's share got ignored by Scouter. If anything, that just means Emperor is really, really good in hell content. So, good stuff. Arcanist mains, good for us. They had insanely good patterns, also good teamwork. They wouldn't have cleared. Sounds maybe. I mean, it's the first hell clear in the world, so you know it's gonna be tight. If you think this is gonna be like an on-farm run, then then it's very different. You know, they're going for world first. They're not going for a speed run. They're not trying to clear the first clear a hell mode to be the ultimate record. They're trying to clear the run. They're trying to learn the mechanics, do the raid, do the damage. More damage helps, yes, but being able to actually complete the raid is all they cared for. I don't actually see anyone arguing that they shouldn't be taken for a speedrun attempt. So I think this is like a straw man here where you're trying to say something, preface this, that's fine. I don't disagree with this. I think if you're trying to go for the fastest clear possible, then maybe there are 100% there are better classes in the game. Yeah. Should Legacy Scouter be gatekept in normal content? I strongly believe no. Properly geared in any standards, level 9 damage gem. And here is where, again, even if you made so many good points, though, you just come off in such a negative way because you end it with this sentence. It doesn't matter anyway because normal content is a fucking joke. Normal content is what most of Lost Ark, most players in Lost Ark do. The people running buses that you do, like, I'm not even gonna get into the fucking RMT discussion that it's eventually gonna blow up. That is not how a majority of Lost Ark players make gold. If you want to come off as a content creator and not basically butt heads against every other person, don't make a statement like this. Don't laugh at your viewers, laugh with your viewers. So all the other teams are running these perfect synergy or better synergy, more meta comps, and they still couldn't clear it because at the end of the day, it's about the player, isn't it? And because the way Reddit works, this has 0 because it actually is negative 46% upvoted. So this is actually in the negatives. As a content creator like myself, I'm here to farm the views. Now make a post about Shadow Hunters. Will actually get him more clicks. Seems he's willing to listen and bargain with the mental gymnasts DIs have for their class. My dude wrote a whole essay just to shit on. People don't like you because you RMT and pilot. No one cares about a list. I think people do care. I think they care about it in a negative way. And this is the Reddit community. Reddit community doesn't like you, and this whole thing screams very egotistical. And I am 100% willing to farm off this drama. I am not above it because I am a small channel and I would like to grow my content. And but I do want people that watch my content to come out of it with some value. So his tier list came out almost 2 weeks ago, so this is also a very old video, but I think Kamina says it best. As toxic as the takes are or whatever, it does hold a bit of truth to it. Like, you can MVP in any lobby 100%, but no matter what class you have, like, doesn't matter if your comp is strong or weak, but there is an actual human behind, and it maybe put a little humanity into your life.
I mean, that's 1771, right? Yeah, well, if you ever get out DPS by like any of like this class right here, you're basically like, you might as well quit the game. So
so that's what I'm joking about. Like, if you get out DPS by anything at the bottom, you might as well quit the game. If you're at the point where you're following tier lists religiously, then maybe it is healthier for you to quit the game if that's your entire take, is to just follow a tier list blindly. A tier list is for you to understand where class is placed in terms of whatever metric it goes by. Whether it's by pure damage, which I think this is actually is based off. It might as well be a Trixion tier list at that point.
Oh yeah, that's basically like the point of view, right? So yeah, you're playing against a fetus. I mean, like, hey man, I mean, like, if you wanna call, like, I don't know, like,
Oh, that's what he said. You're playing against a fetus.
you know, Tofu. I mean, like, this guy is probably like the best player, like, in the, to be honest. Tier list is tier list, you know, people make tier lists for that. I mean, like, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Tier list is tier list, you know, people make tier lists for that. So yeah, I said, like, it doesn't really matter, right?
Your goal is to be so good at the game that you're seeing everyone as whatever, then good on you, man. Holy shit, that's a fucking... I don't want to go down that road.
Tofu and the others, but hey man, I mean, they're fetus as well, of course. It's the same thing basically. I mean, like, it's just the thing. When people make tier lists, this is like what they come in with. So like I said, the spicy one, I don't think it matters. I mean, like, this holds zero significance to me. So it holds zero significance. It's his take, it's his opinion, and in his opinion, he's correct, and that's okay.
And this is coming from, you know, one of the best scouter players in the world. If he went along with this tier list and he thinks that this tier list is the ultimate truth, this guy would have quit a long time ago, but he doesn't. He still enjoys the game, and this is a guy that plays how many Evo scouters, like how many legacy scouters does this guy play, you know? Like, he still enjoys the game, and at the end of the day, if you don't have fun in the game you're playing, it's time to quit. Don't think about the FOMO, don't think about the sunk cost fallacy. It's time to go. Like, if a game's not fun, it's time to drop, because there are so many good, better games out there that will reward you for your time. Same thing with streamers. If you don't like my video, there are plenty of other good videos out there. If you do like my videos, then you can always click the like button to let me know.
Yep, I mean, like, granted legacy and like not in the, like, basically in a vacuum, like, you know, optimal setting. We're not. Damn, he said you play with bad players. It's unfortunate, man. I guess, you know. I mean, like, I don't think like Tofu.
I mean, he plays with bad players that can clear the raid every week. You know, I'll play with the worst players in the world if we have fun and clear our raids every week. You know, doesn't matter.
Who is bad? I don't think Timothy is bad. I think,
like, if you think skill is the pure identicator of a game of your self-worth, I think it's time to touch some fucking grass, man. That's the reality of the situation.
like, these players are great. I think like Last Boy, you know, Sila, they're like amazing players. But hey man, I mean, like, I'm not exactly a great player as well, so
yeah, I'm not either. I think I'm a pretty average player. Sometimes I'm MVP, sometimes I don't. And if hell content turns you into that toxic behavior, then I don't ever want to touch fucking hell content in my life.
in my eyes, like, they look like a great player. But I don't know, it's Legalia's take, right? Maybe he's like, you know, top like #1 player in like the world, so everyone else looks like trash for him.
Yeah, like if you become the best player in the world, everyone looks like trash. That must really suck then. Everyone's in the trash tier. There, you made a tier list. You just put yourself at the top, and everyone else is in the trash tier because you refuse to use D as a tier list.
But it's just another day, another like tier list, dude. I mean, like, you gotta farm it, you know. It's farming viewers, dude. The problem with like
you said, it's farming viewers, and I'm farming off this content too. I'm just a YouTube farmer. I'm here farming content.
this is like, you know. So I could be that guy. I could be like the, you know, farming viewers. So and like people are just getting finessed right there. Because like they really like tier list. It's what they like, it's what they want. So
It is. People
stay
love
relevant.
conflict.
You make tier lists so you can stay relevant. It is what it is.
I mean, clearly he's done a better job at getting viewers, so, you know, props to the content. His best video to date, 54K. Congratulations. And this is Legalia's response to all this.
I literally only made that post to farm viewers and make more content. See, like, literally now everyone's reacting to that post. That was literally my intention, and now everyone's reacting to it. Every creator, Ellie, Stoops, bro. Like, holy shit, bro. I'm just farming content off these idiots. It's too...
Again, the ego, calling people idiots. Like, when your entire vocabulary sounds like you're in a losing ranked league game, you know, that some people don't like that, and it's no surprise. But I don't think you're farming content off everyone else. I think it's the other way around. We're farming content off you. But yeah, I mean, whether you hate this guy, love this guy, whatever, it is content. It's driving discussion. Even though this is in the super fucking negatives, You know, it's how many comments does this have? 125 comments. It drives discussion at the end of the day. So whether it's good, whether it's bad, 55% upvoted. So that's even more downvotes. So people hate this not because you're telling the truth. People hate it because you delivered it in a very negative way. And the results, you know, you can see the impact of it. Some guy quit my regular Vicus lobby. Like, it's just another hard, Vicus hard. You could do it with, you know, your eyes closed at this point. Because we invited a scouter. Like, literally, anybody would have done. Like, would you rather have taken a third support? Instead, like, whatever, that's toxic behavior. And we all kind of cringed when he actually said that and left for real. But, you know, you can play with whoever you want to play. You can leave a lasting impression based on your behavior. And this whole thing, you know, a lot of people are taking it negatively because you delivered it negatively. What can I say? But yeah, let me know down below what you think of the situation. It is a very, very spicy one. I appreciate you watching.